You ever notice the rotisserie chicken is always at the back of the grocery store? $5 hot, already cooked, somehow cheaper than the raw chicken sitting 4 aisles away, which should not be physically possible, and yet there it is. They're not making money on that bird, they're losing money on it on purpose. Because to get to it, you have to walk past the produce, the deli, the seasonal candy wall, and an end cap of protein bars that no human being has ever purchased at full price. You came in for one thing. You leave with $80 of groceries and a chicken. The chicken was never the product. Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 4 drops August 20th. It's called Override, and every leak we've got says it's the gaming legend season. Sonic, Mega Man, Persona 5, Kingdom Hearts, which I'm personally super excited for, Crash Bandicoot, Pac-Man, apparently Tetris, which I have follow-up questions about. The internet is feral over it, and honestly, deservedly. On paper, that's the strongest season Epic has ever put together. I just want to talk about where the chicken is. So here's what's actually nailed down versus what's dataminer chatter, because those are two very different piles. Chapter 7 Season 3 runners started June 6th and ends August 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Before that, there's a live event called Unstable on August 15th at 2 p.m. Eastern, out at the 0 Point Stabilizer. It's a story moment, not a full server-wide spectacle, so temper that. Damage gets switched off, you watch the thing, and afterward the map sits in an aftermath state for a few days. Then downtime on the 20th, leaks put it at 4 a.m. Eastern up to 5 hours, and Override goes live. Epic confirmed the name and the date themselves. That part is very real. Everything past that is data miners, and the data miners have been eating. HYPEX, ShiinaBR, SpushFNBR, FireMonkey, they pulled a collab list out of the encrypted files in the July 30th update and split it into two stacks. Actually sitting in the files, Sonic, Kingdom Hearts, Vampire Survivors, a few smaller ones, strongly rumored but not in there yet, Joker from Persona 5, Mega Man, Crash Bandicoot, and Marvel Tokon. Sonic is reportedly the Battle Pass skin. There are also teaser posters data mined for the Unstable event, and they include Dr. Eggman, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and Tetris, which means Epic is going to spend the emotional climax out of an entire season storyline pointing a camera at a wall of ads for next season. Cool. Now, Fortnite's been doing gaming crossovers since 2020. Kratos was the first gaming legend skin. Since then, it's been Halo, Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, the whole shelf. But in 8 years, they've never handed an entire Battle Royale season over to it, not even once. So why now? And I'll save you the suspense. It's not because the community asked nicely. Back in January, Epic's then store boss, a guy named Steve Allison, did an interview about a program called Gift with Purchase. The pitch is simple. You buy a game on the Epic Game Store, you get a free Fortnite cosmetic, not a coupon, not points, a skin. 40 of those in 2026, roughly 60 planned for 2027. And Allison's stated ambition was up to 100 a year. 100. For scale, Fortnite has historically run 1 or 2 of these at a time. Total, Borderlands 3 in 2019, Among Us in 2022, Goat Simulator, that's the pace we're talking about. They're going from every once in a while to 100 per year. If that structure feels familiar, it's because it's a credit card sign-up bonus. Spend $4,000 in 3 months, get 100,000 points. Nobody on this earth wakes up wanting a Chase Sapphire. They want the flight. The card is the thing you tolerate in order to get the flight. Except here, the flight is a Sonic skin, and the card is a launcher you've uninstalled twice. And Allison was refreshingly upfront about where the idea came from. Before Epic, he ran publishing at Telltale Games. Telltale cut a deal where buying Sam & Max on Steam got you Team Fortress 2 hats. And by his account, their games rocketed up the charts. So he took a job at Epic and spent 8 years waiting to run that exact play at Fortnite scale. Now stack it up and look at the whole thing. Epic Game Store launched December 2018. Court filings from Epic's own antitrust fight showed it had lost over $700 million, with internal projections putting cumulative losses somewhere near $965 million by 2027. Last year, it pulled $1.16 billion in store revenue, record third-party spending, 78 million monthly active users per Tim Sweeney himself, and it still sits at roughly 3% of global PC game distribution. Steam's at about 74. 8 years, $1 billion of free games, timed exclusives everybody hated, a 12% revenue cut instead of 30, and they moved from basically nothing to slightly more than basically nothing. So what's the one asset Epic has that Valve doesn't? 500 million registered Fortnite accounts. The Gaming Legends season is not a love letter to gaming history, it's a customer acquisition campaign. Every legend in that battle pass is working the door at a storefront. And here's the detail that made me put my coffee down. Steve Allison, architect of the whole thing, left Epic in July. He's chief business officer at Saber Interactive now. Epic named his replacement, Martin Keeley, formerly running Blizzard's Battle.net launcher, on July 27th. The guy who spent 8 years building toward this walked out 3 weeks before it launched. Now, I'm not going to pretend that means something sinister. Executives leave, it's a job, but you design the machine, you book the season, and then you're not in the building when somebody flips the switch. That's a choice a person makes on purpose. So let me be real for a second, because there's a version of this that's actually sad, and I don't want to breeze past it. Mega Man is going to be in this season, probably. Mega Man 11 came out in October of 2018. The next mainline Mega Man, it's called Dual Override, hold that thought, comes out in 2027. That's a 9-year gap. 9 years where the Blue Bomber has been in Smash Brothers and Legacy collections, in a McDonald's promotion in Japan, and now presumably in Fortnite. Everywhere, constantly, just never in a Mega Man game. Capcom got asked about the series at a shareholder meeting last month, and the answer was about communicating the appeal of the franchise to a broader audience through initiatives like merchandise. And that's the part I can't completely shake. There's an entire generation of kids right now for whom Mega Man is a skin, not a game they played and loved. A cosmetic they unlocked because their mom bought a battle pass in August. The character survives, the game doesn't, because the character costs a licensing fee and the game costs $40 million and might not sell. That's not Epic's doing. Epic didn't shelve Mega Man, Capcom did. Sega did a version of it to Sonic. Activision did it to Crash and then sold the corpse twice. Epic just figured out how to monetize the aftermath. When a franchise stops shipping games, it becomes a logo, and Fortnite is where logos go to keep earning. Everybody in that battle pass is famous. Almost none of them are very busy. Right, so enough feelings. Back to Override, because I need another human being to look at this with me. The Fortnite season is called Override. The new Mega Man game is called Mega Man Dual Override. Now, Epic names its own seasons. Capcom named their game back in December of 2025. Dual Override is playable at Gamescom this month. I'm not making a claim. I'm setting two objects on the table next to each other and taking a step back. My brother in Christ, that is not a coincidence. That's a marketing calendar with a hat on. Couple more things worth having in your head before the 20th as well. Fortnitemares. Leaker Blortzen says it's landing on update 42.40 around October 15th inside the same season. Salt that heavily. That's one leaker with a date and not much else attached. But if it holds, Halloween in Fortnite this year happens inside the gaming collab season, which means the one event Fortnite has consistently genuinely nailed, Q monsters, the Ghostface stalking mechanic last year, actual gameplay that changes, also gets to be a storefront. And for a sense of how much of any of this is load-bearing, Kingdom Hearts leaked back in February. Full data mine, confident reporting, never shipped, it's back on the Season 4 list now. Leaks aren't promises, the data miners are good at their job. Deals will always still fall apart. So here is where I land. Play the season. It looks great. Sincerely, if you've wanted Sonic in this game since 2018, go get him, have a great time. I'm not your father. Just know what the transaction is and looks like. When a game shows up on the Epic Games Store with a free Fortnite skin bolted to it, that skin has a price. The price is the game plus the 12% that isn't going to Valve. If you are buying it anyway, take the skin. That's free money, genuinely. If you weren't, congratulations, you just paid $60 for a back bling. If this pulled you out of a queue screen or you're watching it during that 5-hour downtime on the 20th, that's the correct context for this video, and I'm glad you're here. Like it, subscribe, do whatever you're comfortable with. And in the comments, I want one specific thing. Tell me a game you own on the Epic Games Store that you have never once opened, not barely played, never opened, never launched. I want to see what the free game graveyard looks like out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Cyler out.